The word, chat. What we doing tonight? Dwayne, what it do? Lowry, what it do? Lala, what it do? Big Niche already upgraded to the membership. She upgraded that membership to the round table of plug. Thank you, Big Niche. What's up, Tyler? Are you locked in? You know I'm locked, Tyler. You know are you locked, Tyler? What we doing, man? Lala was first in the building, chat. Y'all ready, man? Y'all locked? Y'all locked? Y'all gonna hit the like button? We gonna hang out tonight. We gonna kick it, man. What we doing, chat? Double tap that screen, shut a live out, man. Y'all know what time it is. We in intro mode.
No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedity, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. See some thousands, now I'm after some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap that screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? We got to get to 100 likes in here, man. I know I didn't go live last night, but we here tonight, man. What we doing, man? Chat, y'all locked? Are y'all locked, man? Rate y'all's day on a scale of 1 to 10, man. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, man. We got a lot to cover on tonight, but I need to know how was y'all's day, man. Rated between 1 through 10, man. Let me know. And we in intro mode, baby.
I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spence a night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spence a night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
Oh, man. Double tap that screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap that screen, shut alive out what we doing tonight, chat, man. I hope y'all had a great start to y'all week, man. Where's the tag, man? Hold on, where's the tag? We got to get this shit together. There you go, hold on.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Shit sound about right, don't it?
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap that screen, shut alive out what we doing tonight, chat. Double tap the screen, shut alive out what we doing tonight, chat. They saying Nolan Wells case, surprise witness. We got mistakes, mishaps surrounding the case. And we got new text release. We got the GTA 6 updates. They saying someone's done hacked it. They got leaks. We know this is going to be a huge industry. What else do we got? Oh, Carmelo Anthony got a big win, and I guess his retry. I really don't know what's going on there. We'll tap into that as well. What's up? Nobody knows. My day was actually well. Nobody knows. I actually entered a founders meeting today. It was 50 contestants. My pitch fell inside of the top 10%. My pitch fell inside of the top 10% for the model that I put together. And as a founder, they rated me in the top 3 out of 50 contestants. As a founder, the way I answer questions, I was in the top 3. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, nobody knows. I had a great day. Thank you for asking. What's up, Dwayne? What's up, Lala? What's up, Purple? How y'all doing? What's up, Sir Carl? Let's get into it, man. We got the Nolan Wells case. We got the Mississippi DA finally breaking her silence on the Nolan Wells case. Hold on. We also have Tisa Tales coming through with an episode talking about Warren. Nancy Grace also says it might be a witness to the altercation. That's some of the big news tonight, and it would have been Nolan Wells' 19th birthday today. On today, Nolan Wells would have been celebrating a 19th birthday, man. What else do we have? We got Officer Tatum. I forgot who was going at it with him today. And we're going to get into it, though, chat. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into that Grand Theft Auto news. Now, y'all know that they say that the Grand Theft Auto is going to have their own economy. The money's going to actually transfer into real money. So people will be, I'm assuming, be working when the online version comes out, and they will be making real deal cash when this shit comes out. But this is the big news. A group calling themselves CyberLeak has dropped multiple GTA 6 gameplay clips over the past 2 days. Rockstar has been hitting them with non-stop DMCA takedowns. The footage appears to be from an older build, likely 23 or 24. Key gameplay that has been shown so far. Jason has been playing basketball at a safe house with a stamina meter and focus system. Reckless nighttime driving, crashing into traffic, hand-to-hand combat using wrenches, tasers, and slow-motion finishers. New car stealing mechanics. You can smash the windows or clone the keys to the car. A 6-star wanted level is back. Jason raiding a sugar refinery, fighting security and stealing a truck. A chill cutscene of Jason drinking a beer on a fishing boat with a friend. They also leaked what looks like the full map, the Florida-inspired state they're calling Leonida. I think that's how you say it. Broken into 5 counties with Vice City as the main hub. Jason is Jason Duval. He's one of the 2 playable protagonists alongside Lucia. He grew up surrounded by grifters and crooks, joined the army to escape his troubled teens, but ended up right back in Vice City working for local drug runners. He wants an easy life, but things keep getting harder. So let's get into it. That's a little background of the game. I want to see these leaks, what the hell actually went on. They're saying that they're leaking this shit because Rockstar is doing away with the disc games and making people only be able to buy the games digital, where you actually never own the game. And I think if you don't play the game or log in like 3 days, they might take the code from you, PlayStation or whoever. I don't know. Y'all check on that. But let's get into this shit.
You'll be surprised how many core features in GTA 6 are completely changed and innovated from previous GTA games that we thought were just around forever. This is a really bad time for Rockstar right now, and this video isn't trying to you know, make money off of talking about the game. I think it's important to discuss the leaks and what's now out in the public, and give you guys a video that breaks down all of the amazing talented work that Rockstar did. A ton more GTA 6 leaks have just... With Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar wanted your horse not to feel so disposable. They wanted your horse to feel...
I'm not gonna lie, them graphics look crazy, chat. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie, chat. The graphics are looking crazy right here. This clip right here, not this one.
Rockstar wanted your horse not to...
I don't even want to hear it, dude. Let's look at this shit. That clip looks crazy right there, bro. That shit looks crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Why they got this man outside in a damn Speedo? Oh, this is Florida. I forgot. See, that looks realistic, but it don't look hyper realistic right there. That's the dude that sued GTA. It's a dude that they copied this guy after, allegedly, and he sued the game saying that they should have paid him for putting him in the game. Oh, they got trail rides and shit, bike rides and shit. I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be some millionaires made off of this shit too, Chad. It's gonna be a lot of damn money made off of this shit, bro. A lot of money made. What the hell is they swimming for? Oh, I guess they're in Florida. Oh shit, they got you on the damn River Monsters boat? Is that the people from River Monsters, bro? They got you on a River Monsters boat? It's crazy. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Chad. It's a lot going on right there, man. We finna move on, though. I just wanted to bring y'all that news. We are finna move on in the case. We're gonna get into these, the kids at Penn State that got caught trafficking a lot of blow, man. We're gonna get into the kids at Penn State. They said dude graduated, was cutting hair, some more shit, kept selling blow, and then he got caught, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's crazy, bro. They had to watch Power.
Major cocaine bust there, and frat culture on cocaine trafficking ring at
jury, and now you have investigation really any affiliation to the university. But as for this investigation, you know, this didn't happen overnight. This was years of police work here, 2 years, a long-term investigation really, and it all started when a detective went undercover and started making controlled purchases of the cocaine. Those purchases helped investigators uncover what they called a large-scale operation, and uncovering all of this then allowed prosecutors to get a statewide grand jury, and now you have 14 individuals facing charges, some of them really...
Sir Carl comes through with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Sir Carl. I think that's the first super chat of the night. Thank you for supporting the work, Sir Carl. We got Big Niche renewed her membership. Welcome to Plugged In, and she upgraded that thing to the round table of plugs. Najee, thank you for the coins, and Sir Carl with the first super chat of the night. Thank you, Sir Carl.
Serious felonies, including conspiracy.
Oh my gosh, seems kind of unbelievable. So Andrew, the Attorney General has dubbed this investigation as Operation Drugs Unlimited. Like you said, 14 people have been charged. What exactly are they being accused of?
Well, it's important to know, and prosecutors say this, that this is not just a case of college kids possessing cocaine, and it's not even a case of college kids possessing a lot of cocaine. They say this was a...
No, they said dude was selling keys. They said he had them in there bagging up 500 packages, and then he moved on. He was selling straight birds. I'm not gonna lie. 50 Cent said he finna make a TV show about dude, man. He said he was selling straight birds. I ain't gonna lie, he was getting it in. Birds cheap right now, allegedly.
A sophisticated operation. They allege that the drugs were brought in from Philadelphia and New York. They were cut up, packaged, and sold at those two fraternity houses and then sold primarily to Penn State University students. 4 of the defendants are facing major felonies, including the conspiracy charges I mentioned. Some are facing misdemeanor possession charges, and one is the father of one of the alleged dealers. he's accused of helping conceal drugs and obstructing the investigation, Ashin.
Feels like a plot of a movie, Andrew. And so obviously we're talking about frats here. So was this just a drug ring, or did this somehow tie into, frat hazing as we know it?
Well, the short answer is both, and this is where this case gets really disturbing here. According to court documents, one of those fraternities actually...
Man, quit calling that shit a frat and quit calling, man, call it what it was, man. They was drug trafficking. They was a damn gang. They was a trafficking ring, man. Quit trying to make this shit cute for Penn State, man. They ass was in there. They ass was busting down the packs. They ass was selling birds. They ass had all the initiates on fucking drug dealing time. That's gang time, man. I don't give a fuck what they talking about, bro. They ass was on gang time, man. Rico.
Actually employed, if you will, some of its pledges and forced them into taking part in this operation to package and to distribute the drug. And remember, pledging is, that process where you try to get into...
Getting their ass beat in on gang time, man. Same concept, man. And getting their ass beat the fuck out. Hazing, pledging, and getting your ass beat in, same thing. Your ass gonna end up with some blow in your hand, ready to hit the streets, man. Same thing. Two different paths. Same result. You get your ass beat, you get your ass humiliated, you get some damn blow put in your hands, man. Oh, cut it out, bro. Cut it out.
To the fraternity, the hazing ritual. So it involved these drugs, according to prosecutors. But this is not a hazing case. It's just far more serious. It's a cocaine trafficking ring case.
Right. Call it what it is.
It is really unbelievable. Appreciate you breaking this down for us. Let's now bring in Adam McCready. He's an associate professor in residence of higher education with expertise in college men and fraternities. Thank you so much for being here. So student affairs at Penn State.
So who the hell they gonna blame for flooding the community with drugs now? I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. Who's putting them drugs? See? Now all of that blowing shit going on down there in Ocean Springs, now that puts it into different perspective. Maybe it wasn't the niggas with the blow. Y'all kept trying to say only the niggas be having the blow. Well, we see what was going on in Penn State. It wasn't a nigga involved, man.
Are saying that criminal activity, including hazing, has, quote, no place at our institution. Does this drug bust at Penn State come as a surprise for you?
Not really. I mean, I think fraternities have been associated with social experience and parties and even drug use for decades, if not over a century now. So no, not a surprise. I think, in fact, when I was a fraternity professional...
What I'm trying to figure out is, how did nobody take them down? Like, I seen the lineup, chat. I'm not going to lie. I seen the lineup, and where I'm from, they wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have made it. They had to keep their clientele straight, bro. I'm just going to be all the way. Word got out that them guys had some birds. By the morning, them guys wouldn't have had no birds. I'm just going to be honest.
There was a drug bust on my campus. And so not a new phenomenon, but I think the scope and severity of this issue is certainly concerning.
Yeah, Adam, I definitely remember it happening on my campus as well. And so fraternities and sorority chapters, they'll say that they don't condone hazing or abuse. But you and I both know that hazing does occur, and sometimes it can be deadly. Why is hazing an unofficial tradition for some members in Greek life? Like, how do we make sense of it?
Yeah, I mean, first it's important to recognize that hazing is incurred on college campuses before fraternities and sororities ever existed.
I'm not gonna lie, listen. I know some of y'all might be frat bros and sorority girls, but if y'all was passing that damn egg around in each other's mouth, I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Passing that egg around is crazy.
And that these organizations simply adopted the behaviors that were already occurring on their campus when they began to indoctrinate new members into their experiences. And so the first fraternity hazing death actually happened in the late 19th century. So not a new phenomenon.
Up, Gito?
I think that fraternities are, when they bring in new members, are finding ways to gatekeep. I think fraternity hazing issues are often more significant, or hazing is more significant often in fraternities than sororities, because masculinity and manhood are often associated with competition and risk-taking and violence. And so I think as new members try to secure the power and the social prestige that fraternities have, they're willing to pledge or become a new member in a fraternity.
I don't know if his eyes real, but let's get him the fuck up out of there. What's up, JW? Everybody hit the like button, man. Double tap that screen. Hit the like button on your way in. We're finna get into these text messages. We're going to hear Officer Tatum break it down first. Then we're going to hear Tisa Tales break down her version of it. But before we get into that, we're going to hear from the DA. They said the DA spoke out today. This would have been Nolan Wells' 18th birthday. We'll get into the, or y'all want to get into the Carmelo Anthony first? What y'all want to do? Y'all want to get into the Carmelo Anthony first? What's up, Savage? All right, don't worry about it. I'll pick. Y'all take it too damn long. Wake up, chat. Y'all here? Y'all looking around? What's going on? Wake up.
News, I'm John Shit. Breaking news, Mississippi DA Angel Myers.
This is what I'm going to say, chat. Do y'all not know I wanted to go to sleep, man? I almost didn't even go live, man. I had a long-ass fucking day, man. I've been talking to people all day, damn meetings and calls and trying to get shit together. And I almost just called it a night, but I wanted to get on here and hang out. Y'all acting sleep. Y'all ass sleep.
As McIlrath has now finally responded to cover-up accusations and corruption claims involving the investigation of Nolan Wells' mysterious death. Since the beginning of this case, online users have been vocal about their suspicions and their lack of trust with state officials assigned to figuring out what happened to Nolan Wells. As we all know, Wells' death is publicly determined as unsolved after he would first disappear on July 4th and later his body would be found on Horn Island, Mississippi, where he was last seen with friends.
Cheeto. Thank you, Najee.
The story has created speculation
Dad.
and outrage for many who question what really happened to the black 18-year-old that day and questions if the investigation surrounding his death is properly and thoroughly being handled. As far as Angel McIlrath, who is over the case, she is now releasing a statement to respond to anyone who takes issue with how her office is moving forward and their lack of transparency as the investigation currently awaits to be presented to a grand jury now that several things in the investigation have been completed, like Wells' state autopsy. As district attorney, I do not have the same freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in this investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or the testing of evidence. I do not have the freedom to identify what information is verified and what information is false. I do not have the freedom to publicly adopt a narrative and choose one fact over another. Nor do I control the information released by private individuals who are not part of the investigation team. I cannot control whether private individuals release letters they have sent to me, just as I cannot prevent them from releasing letters I have sent to them. I cannot control which facts or bits of information are shared or whether that information is being shared in context, twisted, or misconstrued. Public commentary does not make the speaker transparent, just like exercising restraint consistent with the laws does not make the process corrupt. The fact that something is said does not necessarily mean it's actually true. Prosecutors are held to the highest ethical standard under the law, as we should be. The people we serve deserve no less. I understand that a void is perceived when some are speaking publicly about a matter while others do not. I would be stepping outside the bounds of the law if I were to fill that void and share information publicly. With all of the public pressure being placed on my office, filling that void would only serve to get pressure off of me.
The DA's public statement. This is the statement that the DA down there in Mississippi put out.
Nolan deserves better. There is no pressure that can be placed on me and no force that is greater than the weight of the oath I took and my responsibility to the people I serve. My obligation and commitment is to present the grand jury with all the evidence collected in this case in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, the actual truth, and an understanding of the law. I am obligated to do so in keeping with the law and the rules of the court. On July 23, 2026, I released a recorded statement explaining the process and what the people of Jackson County should expect in this matter. There is nothing more to be shared at this time. I caution the public about assigning trustworthiness to things they read and see online. I also ask, rather than those individuals demanding that I step outside the bounds of the law and make public statements, we all step back and allow the process to work and allow us to do the job we were elected to do. I stand firmly on the rule of law and my ethical obligations. That is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. Now, the reason for this response looks to be in direct connection with several recent emails released that were directed to her office from Wells' family representatives, in which the most recent email would address a demand she would allegedly make for Wells' family to turn in his cell phone for examination within a 48-hour window, along with claims that she and her office were not following the path of a joint examination of Wells' phone, as agreed upon when she would meet Wells' family and their attorney Benjamin Crump on July 15th. Your letter sent to Eric Hertz on August 12th at 12:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time said,
So wasn't it like Sunday that she put it out like that she's gonna be available for 4 days this week to do that joint investigation? Well, tomorrow's Thursday. It's gonna be honest with you.
the deadline for the Wansleys to deliver the phone to your office by August 14th at 9 a.m. This is not practicable for a number of reasons. First, the date and time you proposed provided less than 48 hours notice. Moreover, the Wansleys were outside Mississippi when your letter was sent and are not scheduled to return until after the deadline you unilaterally imposed. Second, the parties never agreed to simply deliver the phone to your office. Instead, the agreement was that we would set a mutually agreeable date and time for the phone to be examined together by your office's forensic professionals, our forensic professionals, and possibly the FBI as well. For some who would take notice of this letter, they would immediately sound off across social pages and further accuse me.
See, Gito, what's crazy is you said, why are all the phones being examined? I think they just vote something like that down where they were talking about like proximity, where if something happens, everybody in the phone, everybody in the immediate areas, data could be taken. They just voted something like that down, Gito. I'm not gonna lie. I know that these people are kind of involved and we're looking at it like that. But when we're talking about our rights as citizens, I don't think that that's maybe the best thing to do. If you were in anybody who was in that immediate area has to submit their data. I don't think that's cool.
McIlrath and Mississippi officials.
In this situation, it seems to be like that should happen, but that could set precedent. You said violation of privacy. Yeah, but what was that they just voted on? They were just trying to do something like geofencing. That's what they call it. That's the term. They just voted on geofencing.
Officials assigned to the case for shady tactics and potential strategies to disrupt any legitimate findings about Wells' passing.
On July the 15th, the Mississippi DA agreed to jointly examine Nolan Xavier Wells' cell phone. But now all of a sudden, August the 12th, you give Nolan's mom 48 hours to hand in the cell phone, and now you no longer want to examine it together. If that's not corruption, I don't know what is. What changed between July the 15th and August the 12th? What are you afraid to show?
You said, yeah, bring Nolan's name and he's an unaliver. What does Nolan got to do with unalive? You said he was convicted of a murder. He's not getting a new trial. I think you're talking about two different people here, Mike. And as far as Carmelo Anthony, we're going to get in that shit in a minute because it's looking like they just took the judge off of his case, so he might fuck around and get a damn trial.
Nolan's mom in that cell phone. Oh, and the corruption doesn't just stop there. You gave Nolan's mom 48 hours to produce that phone while she was out of town, and you know it was impossible for her to give you that phone in those 48 hours.
For some online, Wells' friends who he traveled to the island with have remained key persons of interest. Now, at the top of July, McIlrath would become a discussion for former Mississippi Judge Carlos Moore, who, while on Facebook Live,
listen, Mike, quit saying Nolan. Whatever you're talking about has nothing to do with Nolan. You're talking about Carmelo Anthony, but you're using Nolan's name in place of Carmelo. And what's crazy is, Mike, I think you're doing it on purpose. I think you're attention seeking right now. So that's why I just came out and addressed it. You know, what you're talking about has nothing to do with Nolan.
would issue a warning about her from his previous dealings.
I had the unfortunate experience of meeting the DA, McIlrath, back in 2019 when I was a partner with the Cochran firm. And Toussaint Diamond Sims was killed by a Morris Point Police Department officer on August the 8th, 2019. It was caught on video. There were several witnesses that said that young man had nothing in his hands when he was shot 5 times in the back by that Morris Point cop. 5 times in the back, nothing in his hands. DA McElrath presented all that evidence, overwhelming evidence, and she still could not secure an indictment of that officer in Jackson County. So before everybody goes and starts singing her praises, let's make sure she's not going to do another sham presentation to the grand jury. And we know that you can present things to various grand juries until you get an indictment. It's mighty funny that the regular saying is you can indict a ham sandwich. With all that evidence, after someone was killed in 2019, and I happen to represent the family at that time as a partner in the Cochran firm, and I met with her as well as the family, similar to what happened today, so I've been through that process with her. She will offer you sweet tea. She's a nice, good Southern belle, but can she get you justice? We're not going to sleep on you, Angel, excuse me. We're not going to sleep on you. This time, we expect you to present the evidence in a manner like you present it in other situations, that you can secure an indictment or indictments. I do know you don't have to be indicted for anything to be arrested. All of this evidence is out there now. It should have been presented to a judge by now. Some of it for probable cause.
So should someone have been indicted by now? Should the indictments be sealed already, chat? Yes or no down in the chat. And should there have been any arrests made? I need y'all to put arrest or no arrest, and I need y'all to say, do y'all think the indictments should have been sealed already?
To make some arrest. Some of it to get the search warrants. I am not about any dilatory tactics. You're not going to punt the ball and put it on the grand jury. Certain folks need to be arrested now if there's so much evidence. Evidently, there's enough evidence for the FBI to now be involved. Evidently, there's enough evidence now for the DA to announce that she's going to present things to the grand jury. There's nothing to present to a grand jury if there's an accidental drowning.
As of recent, Wells's family has went on to double down on their willingness to participate in an investigation of his phone to examine if data was ever removed after his disappearance, along with finding any information that can help with the investigation. For those who don't know, Wells's phone was allegedly left on the boat he would travel on to Horn Island and would later be tracked by his family after his friends would have his phone in their possession. In an interview with online commentator Officer Tatum at the end of July, Wells's friends would push back on any suspicions that they were hiding Nolan's phone from his family.
Everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, like it was normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her.
And did you guys go through the phone, or?
Of course not. I mean, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones.
So I watched a video earlier, and they said when Jax was talking, Warren was kind of like hitting him with his knee, telling him to like shut up. I didn't see that live. I might have to go back and watch that. Did y'all see that?
About why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything.
AJ?
As of this report, it is still unclear when McIlrath plans to meet with the grand jury to determine if there are any criminal charges that can be made in connection to Wells's passing. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Now that we've heard from Mississippi DA McIlrath, do concerns still remain? Or do you agree with her approach on finding out what happened to Nolan Wells? Reporting live from Hypers Club, Fight Plus News, I'm John Abba.
Hit the like button, chat. We got to get the likes up in here. We're slacking on the likes in here, man. I need y'all to get active, get up. I know it's been a long, hot-ass week. It was 109 over here today, bro. 109. I'm not bullshitting. Said it felt like 114. Not bullshitting, man. But I need y'all to get active, man. Hit the like button.
Tonight, the Nolan Wells investigation into the death of...
Hold on, Chad.
Do I quit the show now or what? What are we talking about? Why is it that when they're having this conversation on the 5th, the 4th and the 5th, that in the media, oh, these boys didn't even care about him. These boys didn't go searching for him. These boys deleted stuff out his phone. These boys did all this other stuff. These boys didn't kill him. But the communication on the back end looks like this. Until Benjamin Crump gets involved. Before we get back to the show, I want to tell you guys about Synergy. If you're audience, know that Warren Hudson murdered her son. Now, just so you guys know, text message that was sent. And you tell me that Warren Hudson murdered her son. Now, just so you guys know, Warren initiated this phone call and communication with Christine Wells. He called her the night that Nolan did not come back like they expected. He asked her, is it okay if I call the Coast Guard? They had a short communication, and he calls the Coast Guard. He told me in the interview that we interviewed him on that he told Miss Christine that he had Nolan's phone and keys. That's what he said he told her. Now, if you done kill somebody, 9 times out of 10, you ain't talking to their mama. But listen how the conversation went, though. I'll read them to you. Warren, where's his car? I think, what is this, on the 4th? This is on the 4th at, let me look over here, because at 11:15 p.m. Warren, where's his car? At Jax's house. Where is that? Can you send me the address where you guys launched? Yes, ma'am. He goes on to send her the address. What was the last time you saw him? He said 3 p.m. and sent her to the actual location. That don't seem like somebody that's trying to obstruct or hide something. What happens next? What was he wearing? Black shorts and sunglasses. Now, in the interview, he told me that he thought they were black. We see now that it's blue. He said he thought it was black shorts. Can you call, I guess that's the lady at DMR. He says, on the phone with Coast Guard now. I will after, yes, ma'am.
My thing about this shit, too, is like, why is every time like an exact damn time? 3 p.m. Then the fight happens and they leave at 4:30 p.m. is when they take off, and then they seen them at 5. It's like everything is just an exact fucking whole number. Like nobody could be like, oh, it was around this time. Like, no, it was this time. Like, oh, it's just crazy.
They're communicating. If she had a question or a concern or what, she could text it to him right here. He's responding to her, yes, ma'am. Can you call DMR? Yes, ma'am, I will. I'm on the phone with the Coast Guard right now. On the phone with the Coast Guard doing what? Trying to coordinate them to look for his friend Nolan. She don't say, she's not, this doesn't sound like, this some random kid. She says, thank you so much. We have to file a missing person report. So one more time, tell me exactly where you saw him last. I'm so sorry. I am asking you to repeat this. It does not seem like she got a problem with him. He says, no problem. 3 p.m., west tip, north side of Horn Island. Where did you guys lunch from? He sent her another ping of where they lunched from. Told her exactly where he saw Nolan and what time. Okay. He said, we launched the boats yesterday evening and left from here this morning. Does this sound like a kid that trying to cover up a murder? Giving her exactly where you lunch from? Giving her your exact locations? Here we go again. It says Nolan's dad is at the house to pick up the keys. Warren, it said Jax's house, not Warren's house. But she told him Nolan's dad is at the house to pick up the keys. Hey, Warren, what kind of sunglasses was Nolan wearing yesterday? I'm pretty sure Ray-Bans, Miss Christine. Then he goes on to say, hey, Miss Christine, just wanted to check in. We went out this morning to look, and I've been on and off the phone with Jackson County Sheriff's Office today. If you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Do I quit the show now or what? What are we talking about? Why is it that when they're having this conversation on the 5th, the 4th and the 5th, that in the media, oh, these boys didn't even care about him. These boys didn't go searching for him. These boys deleted stuff out of his phone. These boys did all this other stuff. These boys didn't kill him. But the communication on the back end looks like this until Benjamin Crump gets involved. Okay, let me continue. She says,
So how y'all feeling about what Tatum's saying? He's saying Ben Crump came around and the narrative changed, man. Do y'all think that's true? I think that this is just initial reaction, man. She just trying to get that damn baby. She ain't been looking back. Hindsight is 2020. I think she just trying to get that damn baby, get the search on at this point. But do y'all think Ben Crump came in and put a wrench in the game?
thank you. We are all praying for your family. We appreciate it. What is the make, go back. What is the make and model of boat you guys were on? What does he do, y'all? He says, Nolan went out on the 22 Triton.
What's up, Wilty?
Offshore. I was on the 24 Tide Line on the way out. We were on separate boats. I went back on the Triton. DMR and the sheriff's office have all this information also. Then why you get out there and get on there and put a picture of all these boys?
At this point, why is he saying the sheriff had his information also? I don't know.
Boys on the boat, they were last seen with them. He said he didn't.
I'm just saying, like, in that situation, I wouldn't have been like, yeah, and the police know this too. I would have just answered the question and left it alone. Like, I wouldn't have alluded to, yeah, and law enforcement already knows this. Like, it's a little crazy.
Didn't even ride on the boat with Nolan. All right. It's a lot to read, so let me try to read this real quick. He says, hey, Warren, can you collect any of Nolan's items left at Jax's house? It looked like there was a duration of time between that text and a response, which was the 20th when we were in Mississippi on Nolan at Nolan's funeral. And this is what what Warren wrote Miss Christine. Good morning, Miss Christine. I just wanted to let you know
Hit the like
that
button,
my family
chat.
and I have been praying for you and your family. Nolan was one of my best friends since we were in 8th grade together. You and Mr. Elmore raised one of the best men I've ever met. I wish that I could be there today, but I would never want to take the attention off of your family and Nolan and be a distraction. Thank you for being the best parents that Nolan could have. Now, does this
What up,
sound like
Carlos?
a deranged white racist that killed a guy that wasn't even his friend? But yet he's saying he's praying for you, and yet he explained exactly why he didn't come to the funeral. But you don't put that out in the media. You don't frame it like this. You let the world eat these boys alive. He told you exactly why he didn't go to the funeral. You let everybody get out there and say all these things about your son's friends. And I heard a lot more about Christine, and I'm not going to publicly say anything about it. But I heard a lot
of Officer Tatum is going hard at this grieving mother, bro. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, damn. Like, he's going fucking hard.
And I heard a lot more about Christine, and I'm not going to publicly say anything about it. But I heard a lot about it. Somebody gave me a whole rundown of all this stuff. And I do not understand why this had to be about race and it couldn't be about a community coming together to find out what happened to Nolan. It's a shame. It's a shame. And the part that makes me upset because
Bro, y'all heard how he said that, bro? Everybody, niggas know when niggas being messy, right? Niggas know when niggas being messy, bro. He finna try to cost this woman her damn marriage. Do y'all hear how he said that? He finna try to cost this woman her damn marriage.
Find out what happened to Nolan. It's a shame. It's a shame. And the part that makes me upset because this injustice, and I do not understand anything about it. But I heard Christine, and I'm not going to publicly say anything about it, but I heard a lot about it. Somebody gave me a whole rundown of all this stuff. And I do not understand why this had to be about race and it couldn't be about a community coming together to find out what happened to Nolan. It's a shame. It's a shame. And the part that makes me upset because this injustice that has happened in part is perpetuated by black people. I hate to see black people acting like this. The world is laughing at you and you are being mocked by the world because this is illegitimate and irresponsible from the world's perspective. To put some young 18-year-old kids out there and letting them get death threats and won't even correct the script. Won't even say, I spoke to Warren, he seemed like a good kid, y'all lay off of these boys. There's no reason for my son to be gone and these other boys to be, y'all be threatening lives. They had nothing to do with it so far. We have no evidence that Warren had nothing to do with it. I've been in communication with Warren. He told me if I need anything, I can go to him. If I need something, I'll text Warren. Why is this not in the media?
He was hard.
Hey guys, listen, breaking news in the Nolan Wells case, and this really has me puzzled. Okay, Warren's mom and or Warren has released the text, the full text messages between him and Nolan's mom, Miss Christine. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the way they dropped it, I thought that was gonna be like hit them with the Uno reverse. I thought they were saying checkmate. I really thought they was gonna show us something that made us, say it with me class, made us forget anything that we thought so far in the Nolan Wells case. Unfortunately, this has me looking around like this is Casey Anthony's defense. What is going on in the town of Silver Springs, Ocean Springs? It really looks like they are spiraling because I don't understand what they think this proves. And I'm going to read the messages with you, then go over some more theories. And you know the people are out here on the internet acting like it's checkmate. I will say one thing. This case has taught me a lot. It has taught me that when people see you as disposable, when people see you as you have no right to advocate for your children, when people treat you like you opening your mouth and demanding not even justice, but the bare minimum that every parent in the United States is entitled to. My child's dead. What happened to my child? And the minute you ask those questions, if you look like Nolan's parents, you are met with an avalanche of people that are making a bunch of excuses and believing everything they want. But their purpose is you need to shut up. Again, Nolan's parents are not calling for someone to be arrested. They have never pointed the finger at anyone. However, it also must be noted that they're not doing it on this. They're asking for the bare minimum. How did my son die? You say he drowned. Do you have proof of that? I want to know how my son died. Not point the finger, not how did he die? That's it. And you're telling me a parent in the United
Bro, Mike, sometimes you just be in this bitch typing and texting and you just sound dumb as fuck. You just sound dumb as fuck. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You said then the black committees want to figure out what y'all could take the Democrats for. What did you say before that? Like he needs to have a conversation with itself and ask yourself 198% of all murders in the hood, black on black crime, Why the black community only 13% of the pop and get responsible for 78% of all crimes? The black community is not responsible for 78% of all crimes, Mike. Cut that shit the fuck out, Mike. Like, you just get on this bitch talking, bro. Mike, every now and then you just come through here and your ass just be talking. I don't know if you be drunk. I don't know if you just don't know what the fuck going on, Mike, but I don't know. It's not working for you, dude. It's not working for you, man.
United States of America does not have the right to know that. They have the right for a sheriff that, as far as I know, don't got a forensic license, does not know about drowning, is not a pathologist, and doesn't know anything. And when you ask for proof, are you sure he drowned? What's the autopsy say? That's classified. Well, what's the police report say? That's classified. Is there an investigation into how he died? That's classified. And we're not lurking on your time frame. Y'all, everybody in this case.
Deborah says, what does that have to do with this in case anyway? It ain't got a motherfucking thing to do with it, Deborah. I'm just saying, like, Mike's just one of those people who has so much to say and swears he steers clear away from black folks. But he always in this bitch talking about black folks. Like, I just don't get it, nigga. I don't get it. It's almost like a fascination.
In my opinion, on Ocean Springs, I think they have lost their GD mind. There is a level, in my opinion, of arrogance, cold-bloodedness, hostility that no one in this situation should ever have to suffer. And the fact that there are.
And this shit is crazy. Black people hate to hear the truth about themselves. Motherfucker, isn't it a term called the truth hurts? So when the motherfucker made up the term the truth hurts, they was only talking about niggas. Or was they talking about everybody? Truth hurts everybody. If I get tell you about yourself and I'm brutally fucking honest, I bet I hurt your damn feelings. Your kids told you exactly what the fuck they needed to tell you how they feel, I bet they hurt your feelings. The truth hurts. That's why you tell sweet little lies like all the shit you be talking about. Cut it out. Cut it out.
People twisting reality to act like any parent, when their son died, does not deserve an answer to what happened to them and how they died. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, let's look at what they said. They released these messages. I still don't understand what they think this proves. I don't understand. Now, again, I'm assuming Warren's mom and all this stuff released the messages because, I mean, it couldn't have been Crump, because to me, this makes me side-eye the boys even more, right? Anyway, the mom said this is after Warren called Miss Christina and said they're worried, they're looking for Nolan. Okay? Now, interesting enough, as you read this, well, it'll get to that. Let me just get to him. She said, Warren, where is his car? He said, at Jax's house. Now, how come you didn't mention that you were also at Jax's house? Anyway, she said, where is that? Can you send me the address where you guys launch? Yes, ma'am. She said, what time was the last time you guys saw him? He said, 3 p.m. Now, this explains a lot. I think even though it has been proven, right, that Cito call was real, it has been proven through their GPS before they called off the MDR search that the boat didn't move at all, not even an inch, until 4:30. You called Cito at 4. So when you called Cito at 4, there's no way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is every single number around fucking number? We last seen Nolan at 3. We called Cito at 4. We leave at 4:30. Allegedly, Nolan was last seen at 5. Like, why is it just all fucking round numbers? There's no windows around this motherfucker. Everybody, it's almost like the shit was fucking coordinated or something. I don't know, bro. Shit is crazy. Alleged.
You could have been taken on water. There's no way you could have been in 31-foot water. There's no way that the boat could be actually drowning. You see what I'm saying? So with all this saying, they kept talking at 3 p.m. And the thing is, it would have made more sense if they said, oh, we saw him at 4. Oh, we saw him at 4:30. Oh, we saw this. That would have made more sense. And I kept wondering, why do they have that hour and a half gap? And it makes sense now, because when Nolan's mama was asking for information, Warren said 3 p.m. And once he said 3 p.m., he had to stick to it. He didn't have to. He could have been like, hey, listen, I was really worried. I said 3 p.m., but it was probably closer to 4:30 because we didn't leave. But the fact that they're sticking to this, that's interesting. That's your story and you're sticking to it. Let's
North
get into the
Carolina.
next piece of evidence that they're extending like it's a aha, got you moment. Where is that? Can you I'm sorry. She said 3 p.m. His mama said, okay, what was he wearing? Right? And they sent the GPS location to the boat launch. The mama says, okay, so what was he wearing? Right? And he said, black shorts and sun.
Yeah, you gotta see, Dwayne. It's certain people like they used to call them plants back in the day. Now they're proxies more than ever. You know, it's like plants are kind of gone now, and it's just proxies. You know, like people who have already built their establishment. It's called recruiting voices that aren't yet yours. Like this shit gets deep. So yes, the nigga is a proxy. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He tells you he's a proxy. He says, I say the shit that the white man can't say. I mean, shit. I don't know how else you could how else do you draw up a fucking proxy as a streamer?
Sunglasses. Now, I know some people online that don't understand that black people care about their children too. It's like, oh, you mean to tell me the mom didn't know what her son was wearing? Well, Nolan's mama taught him to take showers and wash his legs and ankles. Warren's mama taught him to when you go and spend the night over people's house, you take a couple of extra pairs of underwear and say it with me, a couple extra pairs of clothes. So why do some people
And just think about it. Insert any other race. Y'all would feel the same way. If it was a white guy going around talking about, oh, I say the shit the white man's scared to say for black people. Y'all would be like, damn, that nigga's a fucking proxy. Who is he working for? It's the same thing with the Latino community. It's the same thing with the Asian community. You'd be like, well, damn, who the fuck is paying him? You just come out and say this shit, nigga. I mean, we see it, but damn, you just say this shit.
people being like, oh, the mom didn't know? Yeah, her baby don't walk around with 5-day-old clothes. He takes a shower, he puts on new underwear, and he changes his clothes. So that's why the mom didn't know what he was wearing. He took a little overnight bag with a couple of options, okay? Anyway, she said, can you call Neva at DMR? Here's the thing. The DMR, the MDMR, those were the people that were actually conducting the only investigation it looked like it took place until Ocean Springs jumped in and said, no, we're in charge of this investigation. And here's what Warren said to her. On the phone with the Coast Guard now. I will ask her. Yes, ma'am. Now, he later revealed that he was just on the call with people he knew in the Coast Guard. But even more that I found really, really odd is the fact that whatever he said to the Coast Guard, whatever he said to the Coast Guard led.
That's what I'm saying. What racist statement did I say? I said the nigga's a proxy. Shit, he is. He said it, not me. He said it. What is it? He said, shit.
The Coast Guard to believe that Nolan wasn't really missing for real, for real. Again, yeah, you called, but what did you say to them? Because it's crazy to me that there are parents who, if your child shows up drowned and an investigate, not even an investigate, if the search party was delayed because the people that called you and told you we're worried he's missing literally talked the police down and said, don't bother searching. Would you not be mad? Because if he did die naturally from a drowning, you're in action. You're talking to the authorities and authorities believing.
I said Dr. Umar isn't racist. I said black people can't be racist. Black people can be stereotypical, prejudice and shit, but we black people can't enforce systemic racism. That's what I said. I didn't say Dr. Umar is not racist. See, now you trying to frame it like I said something I ain't say. If you're going to quote me, do that shit right. Isaiah, welcome in.
Some 18-year-old's word over their own parents. Well, that could have cost him his life. But of course, I realize, yeah, no one's life don't mean much to a lot of people. Again, there's some people that are sick in this world. I actually see the way the world looks and the way our country looks right now. Because it's just people that you only care about stuff when it happens to you. And you only see humanity in people that look like you. Anyway, She said, thank you so much. We have to file a missing persons report. So one more time, tell me exactly where you last saw him. I'm so sorry. I'm asking you to repeat this. Again, Miss Christine is being so nice, so sweet. What do I mean? I'm not saying that she should be cursing.
No, see, now, Isaiah, now you're in here calling me low IQ and saying what I said is low IQ. So if we're going to throw shit around, Isaiah, I would like you to call in. If you're going to talk crazy to me, Isaiah, call in. Because I'm just saying, we can have this conversation. Now, I said black people can't be racist, and I said because black people can't practice systemic racism. Thing is that black people don't have infrastructure, right? We don't set policy. We don't have infrastructure. We don't. We're not the ones owning the corporations, giving out jobs and shit. So I said black people can't practice systemic racism. Just because you didn't want to sit with that and break it down, actually ponder on it, doesn't mean what I said was low IQ. Maybe you should have thought that shit through a little bit.
Warren out at all. I'm just saying in times like this when you genuinely know something's wrong and you know that your child might be in danger, and tragically her gut feeling was 100%, unfortunately he was gone. I think that I would be panicked. I would be hysterical. I would just be irrational. And the way she's handling it was so much grace, but also calmness. Okay,
What does a black man winning governor in Florida have to do with what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Y'all are not sitting with what I'm saying. I said black people can't practice systemic racism. You can say systemic exclusion. You're gonna have frame it however you want to make you feel better. That's what I said. I didn't say nothing about a black person can't win governor. I didn't say nothing about a black man can't. I said black people can't practice systemic racism. That's what I said. Now, you show me a way black people can practice systemic racism. I'll wait.
what do I think they're proving? Are you going to show that she was like an angry woman? She bullied you? Like, what was the point of releasing this? So they said Nolan's dad's at the house to pick up the keys. Now, keep in mind, Nolan's dad had some words for Jack, saying Jack's acted like he had a problem giving him the keys. So then she said, hey, Warren, so this is at 2:24 p.m. That's when on July 5th, when they said, 2:24 a.m. said Nolan's dad is at the house to pick up the keys. So then, now mind you, hear me out. When they ran up on the first time to get the phone, there was an issue getting the phone. And then when they got the phone, Nolan's dad had to return because they forgot to give the keys.
He wants to give his 2 cents. So let's address him, Chad. Hit the like button. So many nobodies want to be famous. Pathetic. Get a job, loser. 1, I got a job. 2, I sat in a board meeting today and I got some business calls. I may have an investor or 2 with one of my side projects. Adam, you know what, Adam? And trying to be famous, I've been that nigga since I was a kid, Adam. Do you not know before I ever fired up a YouTube stream doing this shit, I already had tens of thousands of subscribers and followers, nigga. Lost all that shit, got it back. Adam, if this shit is not on me, it's in me, nigga. Just because it's some shit you can't do, man, sit the fuck back and watch this shit, nigga. We the motion, all right? It's either you got it or you don't, man. Throwing rocks and shit ain't gonna get you nowhere. Just because you got your ass off of work don't mean nobody else in here didn't either, nigga. So sit the fuck back. Do you not see what time it is, nigga? What the fuck you think I did with my whole day? I didn't get on live till 10 o'clock. And you thought I sat here and played with myself, nigga? No. I was getting it the fuck in, nigga. Work. Cut it out.
To his car that was parked outside his house. Anyway, he said, what kind of sunglasses was Nolan wearing yesterday? He said, I'm pretty sure Ray-Bans, Miss Castrine. And then he said on Sunday, July 5th at 5:15 p.m. Now, mind you.
Now he talking about I see why dad left. Are you projecting, Adam? The chat know my fucking dad. My dad done been on stream in this bitch before. The chat knows my... Now, Adam, where's your dad? I'm not one of those niggas. I was raised with both of my parents. We got some legacy over here, nigga. My name means something around this bitch, Adam. I'm not your average nigga. You see all that shit, encyclopedias and books and shit. That's from when I was a little boy. We took some pride in this shit around here, Adam. Matter of fact, my pop's around the corner, nigga. We still live on the same block, nigga. Cut it out.
He says he's been talking to the postcard, but everybody he's been talking to, he's been saying he don't think Nolan's missing and there's no big deal. He said, hey, Miss Christine, just wanted to check in. We went out this morning to look. How did he go out this morning and look when he said that his dad woke him up and then they went to McDonald's and stuff? Anyway. We went out this morning to look, and I've been on and off the phone with Jackson County Sheriff's Office today. If you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. She said, thank you. He said, we're all praying for your family. She said, we appreciate it. Again, what does this prove? Because let me just say this. It proves that there was no contention. Okay. I believe there's still no contention. I don't think Miss Christine has beef with any of those boys. I think she has beef with the local authorities that won't give her basic access to
then
what
you gonna
actually
ask, can I read? Can you read, motherfucker? Listen, I'm the host of this motherfucker. I'm the one that got your ass on time. Can you read? Do you want to call in and read us a paragraph? Chat, how many books have we sold? We dropped a book last month. I think we done sold like 45 or 50 copies already, and we ain't even been promoting. Right here on live. Like, cut it out. Can you read? Can you read?
happened with her son. And I think she has beef with the people that think that she doesn't deserve that she should just sit down, shut up, and move along. She said,
oh, you was talking to somebody else? My bad. I'm in that mode, man. Listen, sometimes when I'm in that mode, don't bite the bone, man. I'm sorry. But don't bite that bone when I get in that mode.
Nolan went out. So anyway, she asked what boat was Nolan on? And he said, Nolan went out. Now, this is important. Nolan went out on a 22 Triton offshore. I was on a 24 Tide Line on the way out. We were on separate boats. I went back on the Triton. MDMR and the sheriff's office has all this information also. Then she said, hey, Warren, can you collect any of Nolan's items left at Jack's house? Then on July 20th, this was July 6th, right? He did not call her back. Nolan's body was found shortly after. And then what happened?
Did y'all notice Adam never told us where his dad was? I told Adam where my dad was, told him y'all done seen him and everything. Adam, where's your dad? I told y'all he was projecting. I told y'all Adam ass was projecting.
On July 20th, he texted, good morning, Mrs. Christine. I just want to let you know that my family and I have been praying for you and your family. Nolan was one of my best friends since we were in 8th grade together. You and Mr. Elmore raised one of the best men I've ever met. I wish I could be there today, but I would never want to take attention off your family and Nolan and be a distraction. Thank you for being the best parents that Nolan could have. I guess this was his reason for why he didn't go to Nolan's funeral. I will say this, I'm not a big funeral person. Fair enough, right? I'm not going to fault, I'm not a funeral person, okay? So I'm not going to fault somebody for not going to someone's funeral, baby. We all have our own inner reasons and battles and whatnot. I will say this, again, what does this prove? Because do you want to get Casey Anthony's messages? Here's the thing. I'm not saying those boys are guilty of anything. I'm saying that oftentimes in every CSI detective movie, 7 with Brad Pitt, every crime thriller I've ever seen, you can be texting with the killer and not know it. Now, I'm not saying these boys are killers, right? What I am saying is, how does anybody in any way think this proves anything? Except for, I think it does prove why they got locked in to that 3 p.m. timeline. That really doesn't make any sense because of what he texted Miss Christine. And the funny thing is, he said 3:15, and they did not leave for an hour and a half. And because everybody was partying in the same area.
Lamar, you missed us the other night. We went live a couple nights ago, man. We've been live like twice in the last 4 days. Lamar, I think this the third live in 5 days, maybe. Yeah, but I just been deleting them because one, A motherfucker tried to call in and get a clip off of me and talk to me crazy, getting all loud and shit. Had to mute him, check him, get him the fuck together. Then the last live, I think we was watching something and they got the shooting, and I couldn't have them shooting on the live because they would have restricted it. So I just deleted them.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Candy 80 wanted us to know, Christine Wells, you got some explaining to do. If you don't, Christine, I know you've dealing with a lot with Nolan's passing, so I'll take it. Who are you talking to? You got some explaining to do. To who? You? What do you think? And then she tagged Nancy Grace because
you could tell Tisa Tales really didn't start saying "ho" probably till a little bit later in life. You know, that "ho" didn't really come off natural. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm from, we say "ho" a lot. Like, man, ho. You know, it kind of rolls off. Like that "ho" seemed like she kind of thought about it. I don't know if it's because she was recording a video, but it just didn't come off natural.
they so mad. Nancy Grace is like, listen, nothing makes sense. I'm gonna need more information. They said, what do you think about what do you think about this? Did she tell you Warren reached out to her? Actually, it doesn't look like Warren reached out to her. It looked like she was asking Warren questions. And then he reached out at the funeral and said he wouldn't be coming. What does that prove? Great, you're human. You realize it would probably look better. Okay, but what does that prove? Because every crime show I've ever seen, the killer is always not only texting, and I'm not saying they're killers, but they're crying at the funeral. They're showing up. You know that one viral clip of when the maintenance guy had.
See y'all going back and forth about what races can and cannot be racist. And I kind of want to indulge in that conversation, but I'm going to pass on because we got to show.
At a poor girl at the apartment complex, and they find her body in real time while they're interviewing him, and she's like, and the newscaster's like, what do you think about finding the body? And the guy was like, come again? And they were like, no, you don't understand, they just found her body like a few minutes ago. And he was like, what? And you see like the life drain out of his face. Anyway, she said, what do you think about this? Did she tell you Warren reached out to her? This is what you call reached out after your best friend of how many years? From July 6th, from when his body was found, to July 20th, you didn't say one MFing thing. And you pop up on July 20th to say you wouldn't be at the funeral. I already figured you wouldn't be at the GD funeral because you wasn't even in my text messages. And you didn't stop by the house to give a hug or give a condolence or even bring, like, what do they eat in Mississippi? A Jello fruit cocktail salad. You know that thing that.
Cut it out, Tisa Tales. Now, when you talking about the food, and you talking about the South, I got to interject, Tisa Tales. Cut kind of food bullshit you talking about. But no, Tisa, we eat good in the South. Motherfuckers is eating.
Anyway, right? And she said, and was messaging her about Nolan and lied about having to go search for the iPhone. She never lied, dummy. That's what I don't understand about the people that are against the Walmsley family. She didn't lie. You don't even know the fake. You're literally reading Facebook conspiracy threads when there are interviews that can tell you exactly what the mom said. The mom said that she went to LifeLock 360 and had to pull it up. And once she pulled it up and it says Nolan's on land, Warren was on the phone with her the whole time and was like, oh yeah, that's because we have his phone. You dumb bitch. Anyway, let's move on. That's what I'm talking.
Just when I go other places and eat, like other regions, y'all put like a lot of sauce on y'all food. Like it's always some kind of, oh, you gotta try this sauce or put this, pour this something. Like that mean y'all ain't got enough season. I'm just gonna go and say it. I'm just gonna go and say it, bro. If the sauce is carrying that shit, it ain't good. Straight up. A lot of y'all is letting sauce carry that shit, and I just want you to know, man. What's that dude named Cabinet Carl? They be slapping them plates and shit out the way, man. That's how I'm gonna handle that plate, bro. I don't bring no sauce carrying ass meal over here, man.
talking about with people's ignorance, but it don't even matter, right? Everybody has their opinion, you know? I can give Candy the facts, but you can't make her understand. And look at, anyway, let's move on. Anyway, you guys, listen, I'm going to try to go live later. I know I've been saying that, been a little bit under weather, but I'm going to try to go live.
All right, man. Let's get Tisa up out of here, man. She talking about she under the weather and shit, man. Get well soon, Tisa. Double tap the screen. Shut her live out, chat. Isaiah says, plug, where do you
Tonight,
find these people? Isaiah, the same place I found your ass, man, on YouTube. What is you talking about, man?
The Nolan Wells investigation into the death of a shining star, Nolan Wells, has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Everybody, double tap that screen, shut her live out. Just talking, what it do? Jason, what it do? I don't think I shouted y'all out. And Lamar, yeah, what it do, Lamar? I don't think I shouted y'all out. Everybody, double tap the screen, shut her live out. Nancy is talking about it may be a witness to some kind of altercation that went on. But we got to get the likes up. We got to get some more people in here. We're going to shout out the people who have supported the work on tonight. We got Big Niche upgraded to that round table of plugs, and we got Sir Carl with the super chat, and we got some jewels. I don't see who gave the jewels, but I know there's been some. Thank you everybody for supporting the work, man. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, man. And what do y'all think about this altercation or this fight? Do you think this fight is important to the narrative, or does this fight have nothing to do with it?
Wells phone evidence torpedo.
2 confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. The Triton, as you said, left around 4:30.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when?
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned.
Now here we go with the phone again. Remember, Trace didn't say nothing about that phone, and we kept asking, like, what happened to the video talking about, where's the phone? What did he say? He said that he dropped this girl koozie in the water. She was mad about the koozie, told him he had been drinking too much. Another guy came over there and was getting in his business, and they ended up getting into it like that. He didn't say nothing about the phone. And I was like, what the fuck happened to the phone? We heard it on the video. Where's the phone? Now we got this mystery witness that's supposed to go to law enforcement talking about the damn phone. Here we go, chat. Here we fucking go, man. Double tap that screen, shut it live out, man. This some bullshit. What's going on?
What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young...
So he got Joe. So he got Jay. Is that what it sounded like? Nolan and multiple people.
young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to get that chicken. They're trying to get that 125. Yep, go and bring that video. Go on, come up here and tell us what went on. Bring that video, tell us what went on. They got that $125 over there for you.
Nolan, because of the young lady.
That from Secret Service Sam on TikTok. Okay, how is this helping the investigation? I'm trying to make sense of so many people online making comments. Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything.
See, XX, it gotta be a video, allegedly, because we heard it. We heard her say, well, get my fucking phone, or where's my phone? Give me the phone. And then everybody stopped talking about that video after Tristan did their interview and said it was something about a koozie and it was him getting in the fight. And it was immediately his voice, remember? Remember the football coach immediately knew there wasn't Nolan's voice on the video, and Tristan said it was him, and it was him and a guy that got in his business about him and his girl. But prior to Tristan's interview, we was talking about that damn where's the phone? Somebody got a where's the phone video up. We know that prior to this coming today.
Especially if the video is time stamped. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubé joining me. He's joining us out of LA, formerly in the public defender's office.
We don't know if Nolan got jumped yet. The way she worded it was Nolan and multiple others involved in the altercation. So we don't know if he was getting jumped or if he had somebody helping him out. I'm assuming he was getting jumped, but I don't know for sure. I mean, it just sounded to me like shit. If he didn't have nobody there to get a damn boat ride with, I don't think he had nobody there to fight with. I'm just gonna be honest. If I can't get a boat ride with you, I damn sure don't think you're gonna be out here fighting.
A ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
put him up.
Drinking and smoking. You know how many people were partying?
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind? You defend criminal cases. I bet everybody you put on the stand has either been high, drunk, or worse during the altercation. Every witness is not a nun, a priest, or a virgin. Everybody on Horn Island was drinking, man. What are you talking about? I don't care if she took a drink. I want the video.
You want the truth, is what you want. You want the truth. And let's
and that would be the video.
Remember, Nancy,
Okay.
it's not consistent
Brandon
with the
Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat. Or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend. Or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real. And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wales was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water and how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wales and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so
Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies. And they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular fight that would lead to his death. And when you look at the autopsy, there is no blunt force trauma to his face. There is no lacerations or damages to the back of his head. This is redness that was underneath the skin.
Oh, wait, are you looking at the screen? Because I'm looking at a big red mark on the back of his head.
Yeah, but this is underneath the skin. This is not a big red gash that's in the back of his head, which would be consistent with blunt force trauma. This is something that occurred underneath the skin that could have been from pooling of blood after his death due to,
Okay, I need to explain something.
I'll let the experts talk about specifics, but it doesn't appear that.
Okay, let's do that. But I want everyone to understand why Officer Tatum is here. Officer Tatum and Philip Dubé and others on our panel tonight are taking a particular side, right? It's called cross-examination, and it is similar to what happens in court. A theory emerges, a line of questioning emerges, and the other side tests it with fire under cross-examination. And then hopefully you get to the truth. Right now we're talking about an alleged eyewitness to an altercation just before Nolan Wales is dead. If she has not handed this over to the police, it doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. But Tatum has a good idea, and that is let's let an expert discuss it. To Joseph Scott Morgan, death investigator, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University. You can see him now on a hit podcast. It's on YouTube, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, if there had been not a blunt force trauma that Officer Tatum is describing, but a fist fight, if there had been a fist fight, plus body in water for multiple days, body decomposition, would you expect to see red marks on the hands at that juncture, on the face? What would you expect if there had been a fisticuffs?
Yeah, you would see, well, first off, above discolored areas, like consistent with contusions. If there are facial strikes or just body blows, you can actually see abraded areas over the surface of his fingers. And these are very subtle sometimes. And if there is decomposition, which we believe there is, particularly per the second autopsy that was performed, he didn't make note of this. And can I go one more step with this? And this is kind of graphic, but people need to understand this. This physician that did the second autopsy actually did what's referred to as a coronal sectioning of the face. So there were multiple incisions made into Nolan's face in this autopsy, this second autopsy. And this guy didn't see anything. He didn't see anything that was of import relative or indicative of blunt force trauma. And I would think that if there was contact, particularly if he's fighting a group of people, these sorts of things, you're going to have injuries probably on the leading edges, or what we refer to as the blade of the arm right here on the forearm, the back of the hands, the knuckles, those points of contact. And certainly if there's facial strikes going on with him, which we find with blunt force trauma many times with fisticuffs, as you say, you'll see these strikes, you'll see marks on the face. There's nothing to indicate that in the second autopsy. Now, what the state has, I don't know, but I do know this. I know they're saying they're done with the autopsy and that it's complete, which means the gross findings in the autopsy room, the tox, the histology, that means that autopsy report is complete. They just hadn't released their findings yet.
And speaking of that, Joe Scott Morgan, I've heard the same, that the autopsy is complete.
Yeah.
There are reports that there is no cocaine in Nolan's system. That's uncorroborated reports.
Okay.
But a good source.
Hit the like button, chat.
No cocaine in the system.
So everybody that said he OD'd and did all of that, I guess we're about to find out.
Joe Scott.
Nancy saying that there's reports that he did not partake. He was not partaking. But somebody was out there passing out blow allegedly. But they're saying that Nolan was not partaking. But we'll find that out officially, I'm sure, over the next week or two.
When the body has been in the elements.
Cypher says, Plug, have you checked your PayPal lately? No, Cypher, but I'll check it right now.
Such as the water for that long. How can I confirm if he had been drinking or not?
Oh, you can still pull a BA, blood alcohol, or blood ethanol level, as it's referred to. And again, Nancy, we're not talking about someone that has been down for weeks and weeks. We can still do the BA.
Hold on. Cypher, I sure appreciate you, Cypher. I got it. Thank you, Cypher, for supporting the channel via PayPal. Thank you, Cypher, for supporting the channel via PayPal.
And it can come from urine, blood. We can still draw urine and find it pretty effectively. You'll have what's referred to as qualitative. We've talked about this before, and I know you understand that, but so our friends understand.
Yeah, I heard Keefe D might beat it, OG. I heard Keefe D might beat it.
You have a qualitative amount, which they say, yes, it is present. And then you have a quantitative amount where they do the measurement of the BAC, the blood alcohol content. Just think about DWI, DUI, wherever you're from, those levels. And then we get up to those lethal levels. That's really what I'm interested in relative. And yeah, I'm interested in any of the other
Subscribe to the
toxicological
channel,
findings
Jack.
you might have relative to anything illicit or illicit drugs, but particularly with alcohol, because that has been kind of this thing that has been said over and over and over again. Well, let me see it. I want to know what the blood alcohol level was like. And historically, I would like to know what his level of experience has been with alcohol. As you well know, because of cases you've worked on in the past, Nancy, if you're a lightweight, if you've never had anything to drink and you start taking on copious amounts of alcohol, and you're kind of a neophyte in this area, it can have very, very lethal outcomes.
Let me understand. Joe Scott Morgan joining us, star of Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan on YouTube and Death Investigator. When I'm asking you, even if the body has been in the elements for a period of days, can I still get a blood alcohol? Maybe not from urine, but you certainly can't do a blow test, but can you take human tissue from one of the organs and extract a blood alcohol from human tissue?
No, it'd be very difficult. Generally, the liver is the best candidate. We'll spin that down. We'll take a section of it, spin it down, and liquefy it. But again, I submit to you, Nancy, that he has not been down long enough to compromise the ability to get at least
Get
a
a
quantitative amount. Yeah, to get a BA.
Okay. To Philip Dubé joining me, a veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney out of the LA jurisdiction. I'm not quite sure why you're so focused on who had been drinking. Let's take a look at the video. Let me answer that for you. Everybody was drinking. Okay? Everybody had a snootful. So, even someone drinking can see an altercation, Dubé.
No, of course you can. And I can see that crowd of people out there. It was a bustling, hot 4th of July afternoon. But who's to say that the people that she saw included Nolan Wells? And that's why you got to get into her ability to perceive and recollect being impacted by intoxicants such as alcohol. I would want to know if she had imbibed. I really would. Not to mention, the autopsy findings thus far do not reflect any type of physical insults or injury to his body. At most, what you have are signs.
I'm asking you about your fixation on the witness having been drinking. Joe Scott Morgan has already addressed the body. I'm talking to you about the alleged witness.
Yeah. If she had in fact been drinking, I do believe, unless they really have a video showing him in HD quality, showing that he was in a fight, then I would call her ability to perceive, recollect, and even state that there was an altercation going on in her presence.
You know.
Oh, damn, chat, my bad. I was trying to put that on the other screen. I'm trying to calm down. I'm tired, I'm young and shit, and I don't want y'all to clip me going to sleep.
Yeah. If she had in fact been drinking, I do believe, unless they really have a video showing him in HD quality, showing that he was in a fight, then I would call her ability to perceive, recollect, and even state that there was an altercation going on in her presence.
You know, Brandon Tatum joining us, Officer Tatum on YouTube. I've cross-examined a lot of witnesses, and I cross-examined them exactly on that. How far away were you? Did you know the target? Were you familiar with them? Was your vision obstructed by anything? Were you wearing glasses? Were you wearing sunglasses? What time of the day? I mean, I could go on and on and on. But unless you have a nun, a priest, or a virgin on the stand, or maybe Angel Gabriel might come down and testify, you have to take your witness.
You said my mic is hard of hearing. I need to turn my mic up, y'all. Oh, you said my mic is hard of hearing. I was muted. My bad. I was saying that the lights was bright in my eyes, and I wanted to turn them damn down, and I didn't want y'all to clip me if I had dozed off. I told y'all it's been a long day. But I was muted when I was trying to tell you.
As you find them, and I'm sure you've had a lot of drunk witnesses in Tucson, to everything from a bar fight to a murder to a dope deal. Look, I'd say a good 50% of witnesses were drunk at one time or the other. That doesn't mean they didn't see what they saw.
Well, from a law enforcement perspective, this is not cross-examination on the stand. This is us, what I would deal with a witness is right on the scene. And I'm not too concerned of whether the person is drunk or not. I'm not going to test their blood alcohol level on the scene. I want to know specifically, what did you see? What are the identifying markers that you have to say that this is Nolan? If that person can describe them, maybe we'll do a show up. If we have like a video or a picture or something, we could show them and say, hey, does this match the person you think that was here? Then we'll have a good perspective. But there is a challenge here, because you do have to identify him. You can't just say it was a black man out there with curly hair and I think it was Nolan. You're going to have some clear identifying markers that this is Nolan, and then you have to identify the people he was fighting with and the girl. And I think this person is going to have a big challenge. I saw this text message. We reached out to the girl on her social media. She never responded to us. I don't know if she ever really sent it in to the police, but it is problematic, in my opinion, if she hasn't. If you're going to say somebody is going to spend time in jail, or you are alluding to the fact they've committed a crime, and the fact now that we know that Nolan did not survive being out there at Horn Island, and you never submitted that to law enforcement, there's a potential that's tampering with evidence. If you have evidence of a crime and you're withholding that from law enforcement, and you knowingly and intentionally are doing that, that could be very problematic for a person who claimed to be a witness.
No. Morally, it's wrong, but there is no duty under the law that you have to report yourself as a witness, that you have to volunteer information. You can stand on the side of a pool and watch somebody drown and do nothing unless you have a fiduciary capacity, and it's not a crime in our jurisprudence. So nothing is compelling her under the law to come forward. However, interesting, she did post it. She did identify herself. She did say she was going to police, and that would be my first line of cross. Did you take this to the police? And if she said no, all H-E-double-L break out in that courtroom. If you have information like this and you don't go to the police, no, fur would fly. Fur would fly. You ever seen a dog fight? That's what I mean by that. Fur would fly. So that would be a line of cross-exam. Hold on, something else. Before I go out to Susan Hendricks, Jeff Shetler, and Ben Dobrin, now information that there is, in fact, a criminal investigation.
Hearing that somebody who has an inside source is saying the DA's office in Mississippi is now looking at the Nolan Wells case as a criminal investigation and no longer an accidental drowning. Now, we can only pray that this is true. Obviously, we can't celebrate. We can't get excited at all because I have not seen Ben Crump announce this. It is not being reported by any other major media sources, but there are rumblings.
From Sam Crouppen. All right. I would like to point out that his source is a, quote, little birdie. Little birdies are saying that an inside source says the DA's office is now looking into the Nolan Wells as a criminal investigation. I can't put that up on the stand. Susan Hendricks joining me, investigative journalist and author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. Susan, you get laughed out of court if your witness said a little birdie told me. Number one, that's hearsay, but a little birdie?
Yeah, exactly. It makes me wonder, did that woman, those text messages about some sort of altercation, is the grand jury analyzing this as we speak? Because finally the DA came out and said, look, I can't release anything that's going on, but let it be clear, and I'm paraphrasing, that we are investigating this with a grand jury.
Susan Hendricks, you're absolutely right. She states most recently, this is the elected district attorney, my obligation and commitment is to present the grand jury with all the evidence collected in the case in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, the actual truth, and an understanding of the law. I'm obligated to do so in keeping with the law and the rules of the court. She goes on to state, I stand firmly on the rule of law and my ethical obligation. That is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. Now, is there a criminal investigation? According to some sources, there is. We keep hearing there is no criminal investigation. To Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, what is the truth of it tonight?
Nancy, it hasn't been announced that there's a criminal investigation, but it just stands to reason that they are doing a full investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. At this point, we don't have a cause of death, Nancy. They have not released the reports on the autopsy that was done by the state, completed weeks ago. We don't know anything. Nothing's been released. So whether they're doing a criminal investigation or not, I think it stands to reason they are investigating to every piece of evidence they can find to determine what happened and what they can present, they being investigators, to the grand jury.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought,
all right, y'all, hit the like button. You said, are we still talking about this kid? Yes, and we're going to talk about it until we figure out what the hell is going on.
To complete the work this investigation demands. Since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating what happened to him. Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence. The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. Our responsibility to Nolan and our community is to complete this investigation thoroughly, carefully, without compromise, supported by the evidence and worthy of the confidence of the people we serve. I also understand that many people have questions about why more information has not been released publicly. In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information a prosecutor can release during an investigation. Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation in the grand jury proceeding.
And tonight, more rumblings that the wrong boat was searched.
The MDMR report states that the searched vessel was called a Tide craft, right? On July 8th. But witnesses show he used a Tide line boat on July 4th. In the MDMR report, right down at the bottom in the yellow, it says Tide craft, not Tide line.
From Sam Crouppen to Ben Dobrin, emergency response diving instructor and trainer. Ben, thank you for being with us. What about the mistake in the name of the boat, if it was in fact a mistake? And could that explain any problem in getting GPS information?
Well, absolutely, because they're two different brands of boats. It's like saying, I'm going to search a Ford, and then you go out and search a Chevrolet in a car. They're very different brands of boats. And so if they were searching the wrong boat, then any information on that boat would be the wrong information. So if you're going after the GPS plotter on the Chevrolet, but you want the GPS plotter off of the Ford, they have no bearing. And so if you're searching the incorrect boat, you have incorrect evidence.
To Brandon Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, we just saw some video from your show.
Thank you, AJ.
And I'm trying to figure out, among other things, what time and day, if you have a time and a date stamp on that, that seemingly shows the Triton with a lot of people on it leaving the island, leaving Horn Island. Do you have a time stamp on that?
I don't have the timestamp. I can ask them to see if they can get it to me. When I watched this video and they presented it to me, this was during the time that the CETO call was occurring. So it had to have been right around that time. You could see Wyatt on the boat on the phone. And so this is how it was presented to me. And just to kind of answer your question about the boat searches, you know, it's partially irrelevant depending on the investigation and the interviews that they've done. There is no indication that there was a crime committed on any one of these boats. When you have 60 people that have already given statements to law enforcement, you have the young men that I interviewed that were on their boat that left the island, and then you have people that saw Nolan on the island after they had left. It's no indication that Nolan was on any one of those boats at any point in time and that a murder occurred on those boats. So regardless if they searched them or not, you know, it was offered up for them to use a cadaver dog, but that never occurred. And so I don't really think that the boat situation or search is significant. The boys submitted their Life 360, which is how they got a GPS tracking of when they left the island and how they got from point A to point B, where they docked and all of those things. So all of the information has been concluded, or at least have been explored, and it didn't appear that there was any foul play on any one of the boats.
Okay, Officer Tatum, I respect everything that you just said, but to have a witness tell me it's true because I said so, and because my friends say so, that doesn't mean it's true to me.
GPS.
It could be true.
They provided
GPS. That doesn't tell me what happened to Nolan. Just because they got GPS,
they provided Life
they
360,
came back.
They provided Life 360. They provided the CETO call, and you can put those two things together and say, okay, the timeline matches. And if they left at 4:30, they were already gone. All three boats that came out were already gone when Nolan was last seen. So now you have a timeline that's consistent with evidence that they presented.
Right there. I was
Subscribe
going with
to
you
the
until
channel,
you
chat.
said.
Double tap that screen, shut alive our chat. With 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Be sure to subscribe on your way in. I normally got my camera on, but tonight one of them nights, man.
The time Nolan was last seen. Because their GPS data, I'm sure, is correct. And their Life 360 data, I'm sure, is correct. I'm not arguing with the technology. But what happened just before that? Where was Nolan when they're leaving the island? If you can place him on that island at 5 or 6 o'clock, please do it. And then I will turn attention elsewhere. I'm not trying to hang your friends, the people that you have interviewed. And I respect that you believe them, and maybe you're right. If he can be placed on that island at 5 or 6 o'clock, then they're in the clear. But I want to know who's placing them there, him there, and how.
Reports have come out that there's two reliable witnesses. TMZ reported on this. They said they saw Nolan a little bit before 6 p.m. There's also the young lady, Katie, who sent text messages to one of the boys that I interviewed. I saw the text messages where she alluded to the fact that she did not see Nolan get on the boat. She heard the boys yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. So Nolan never got back on the boat that he came on. So you have the boats leaving. You have a CETO call. You have testimony from everybody on the boat. And all of those things have to be taken in consideration. Also, they have already spoke to law enforcement about this. Them talking to me in the interview is them just telling the world what they told law enforcement. If there was any indication whatsoever that he was on the boat based on the testimony that was given from the boys or anybody else, even this new witness that have come forward, I think that there would be a significant investigation leading to an immediate arrest. But they clearly don't have any clear evidence that there is a crime that is committed, and especially a crime that was committed from the boys that I interviewed. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know the young men that I talked to, they were gone. There's no indication that Nolan was on the boat whatsoever. They're giving statements. Katie gave a statement. Even this person is claiming that they saw Nolan get into a fist fight. It appears that this person is claiming that the fight has happened after Wyatt and the rest of them had left on the boat.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories and stream it first on Fox 1.
Get into the water. Was it a drowning? Bodies behave differently underwater, whether it's a drowning or it was a killing elsewhere. There's a lot of different variables. The body washed up very close to where he was last seen. There's a lot of current in that area. If it was a drowning, people generally sink when they drown. But if you don't drown and you're put in the water, you're more likely to float. And so there's a lot of variables that come into play of where the body was recovered versus where the body went in, and the timeline also. 2 days, if the body had been in the water for 2 days, that does lead to decomposition. The water temperature is around 85 to 88 degrees. That's very warm water, a lot of bacterial growth. And so a lot of different variables in play of where the body went and where it came out and the when. Those are my questions. He's an athletic young man. He's very muscular. Muscles sink in the water, fat floats. And so if he drowned, he was probably going to be on the bottom for a while. And if it was 2 days, that makes sense if he drowned and then washed up very close to where he went in. And so to me, that's a big piece of important information is, if he drowned, he was recovered very close to where he was last seen.
But what does that prove?
If he drowned and he floated, because in warm water it takes 2 to 3 days for your body to decompose and float, it proves that he drowned, whether it was somebody holding him underwater or him trying to swim somewhere and wasn't a good swimmer. I have no idea, but we haven't gotten the results from the autopsy, and the autopsy is going to tell us a lot. If he drowned, that's an important piece of information. If he did not drown, that's even more important. You have somebody who was found in the water, his body was found in the water and did not drown. That's a very important piece of information. But if he did drown and they found him in the water, that can open up a lot more avenues for investigation at that point.
Philip Dubé joining us, veteran trial lawyer. Philip, we know because the district attorney has said she is presenting information to a grand jury. There are reports it is a criminal investigation. What do you make of the possibility this is a criminal investigation?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Jackson County, Mississippi is one of the few jurisdictions in the United States that follows the old Sergeant Code. And what that was back in the day was the days of the coroner inquest, where if you had a violent, sudden, or casual death and they couldn't figure out what happened, you would impanel a jury where the medical examiner or the then appointed or elected coroner elicits testimony from people to try to determine manner and cause of death. What Mississippi did is they abrogated that and created this hybrid sort of coroner's inquest with grand jury investigation, where the grand jury will decide whether or not a death occurred and if there was a crime. And based on that, they can complete the death certificate with the cause and manner of death and decide if they're going to return a true bill of indictment against a suspect.
Is it your belief, Philip Dubé, that the grand jury presenter, and I have presented to literally hundreds of grand juries. That's one of the first things we would do in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Is it your belief that, to a large degree, it depends on the leaning of the presenter? Does the presenter believe a crime occurred? Or does the presenter want a no bill, in other words, no indictment?
It's twofold. They want to determine, first of all, cause and manner of death and if it's a crime. And so they've sort of combined the roles of the grand jury leader, if you will, or the grand jury DA to help the grand jury make both determinations. So it's my opinion right now, they don't know if they even have a homicide. They don't even know the cause of death, but they've lumped in all the causality to criminality just to get it all in one.
Let me rephrase it, Dubé. Will the grand jury typically do what the presenter wants them to do? I mean, haven't you heard the phrase, the grand jury will indict a ham sandwich if the presenter wants them to?
Sure. Yes,
so
they will.
Yes?
But it is.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with this secret grand jury. You're on cross-examination. Who thanks Smalls of death?
Getting to that, man. We about to get up out of here. I'm tired, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sleepy, Chad. I gotta rest. I gotta recharge. We will be back on tomorrow night, Thursday. If y'all want to hang out tomorrow in the Discord, we can get in the Discord in the morning. I'll probably be in there. We'll say 10 a.m. I'll probably jump in the Discord around 10 a.m. Hang out for a couple hours, and just have some conversations, man. I want to appreciate everybody who supported the work. And I want to appreciate everybody who stopped by, hit the like button, share it, and drop the comment, man. Good night, Chad.